Hello, I am Jennifer Igwe. We appreciate you joining us for another exciting episode of your Sunday Tonic. As usual, we have numerous human interest stories, and we will start with Ramadan. For the Muslim faithful, Ramadan is a sacred time when obligatory fasting is done from dawn to dusk. It is a spiritual exercise with important activities and processes. Are you wondering what they are? Our feature on a day in Ramadan sheds more light on this. Then we have a feature on the social media and how it is like an irresistible sweet and sour meal. Find out more on this and why we focus sometimes on the social media as we examine the benefits and flip side of social media and our role in ensuring sanity. Talking of roles, men have a crucial part to play in family planning, but some run away from it for diverse reasons. Experts say their low participation is a challenge to family health. Come to think of it, are there family planning methods available to men? Are you curious as well? Our correspondent has more on this. There are other impact stories on Q and why women gathered in Abuja to pray for the Chibok girls. I will pause here, though, so that following our tradition, my colleague Elizabeth Omori in Abuja will take the news segment. Newsline stories will come after. Hello, Lizzie. Nice to see you.
Nice to see you too, Jennifer, and thanks for joining us in our studio in Abuja. Now we begin with electoral matters. The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has reacted to the result declaration in Adamawa State by the resident electoral commissioner in the state. The INEC National Commissioner on Information and Voter Education, Festus Okoye, gave the reaction while speaking to journalists in Brennan Kebbi.
So he had no right whatsoever to go and make a declaration and also make a return when there have been results that have been warehoused and there have also been supplementary results that were ongoing.
Reacting to the stripping of the National Commissioner during the exercise in Adamawa State, he said the perpetrators will be brought to book.
A national commissioner cannot be treated as if he or she is a common criminal. A former vice chancellor of Usman Danfodio University, a senior citizen, was stripped naked and dragged. This commission will not allow that to stand.
He assured that there will be no supplementary elections in Adamawa State. Meanwhile, the governor of Adamawa State, Ahmadu Fintiri, has called for citizens to be calm while the situation is being sorted out by INEC.
Ahmadu Fintiri, on a statewide broadcast, commended the people of the state for their resilience and resolve to exercising their democratic rights. He called on the citizens of the state to remain peaceful and law-abiding at all times. Fintiri urged them not to take laws into their hands.
I call on everyone to remain peaceful and law-abiding, trusting that the world is watching. Nobody should take the law into their hands. Let's peacefully await the next directive from INEC.
In Yola, Yusuf Jika, NTA News.
The Independent National Electoral Commission, INEC, has declared Rodney Ambawoy of the PDP the winner of the Southern Ijaw Federal Constituency election in Bayelsa State. Also declared was Obeng God Knows of the APC for Ogba Constituency 2. Timpre Ohia reports.
That Idris Nasir of APC, having satisfied the requirement of the law, is hereby declared the winner and return elected.
The election in Kebbi State was professionally and ethically conducted. This particular commission deployed 3 national commissioners to come and assist the resident electoral commissioner to pretend this particular election. And from the period of our deployment, you can see that we deployed on time. Our officers were at the various polling units waiting for the voters rather than the voters going to the polling units and waiting for us. There was also no complaint whatsoever relating to Beaver's performance. So the Beavers performed optimally.
We do apologize for that mix-up. That was a report from Kebbi State on the election. Meanwhile, we now have the report of Timpre Ohia from Bayelsa.
Independent National Electoral Commission (INEC) has declared Rodney Ambawe of the PDP winner of the Southern Ijaw Federal Constituency supplementary election that took place in 6 wards and 32 polling units in Southern Ijaw local government area of Bayelsa State.
Ambawe Rodney Ebikabina of the PDP, having satisfied the requirements of the law, is hereby declared winner and is returned elected.
Ambawe polled the highest number of votes to defeat the incumbent member of the House of Representatives, Priye Oseke of the APC.
I assure you, I'm just a mouthpiece for my people. It's what they tell me that I'll go and say. And I will always come back to them so as for us to brainstorm.
Meanwhile, the returning officer for the Ogbia Constituency 2 supplementary election, Professor Ohakwe John, has declared Oben Godknows of the APC winner. Oben Godknows pooled 5,291 votes to defeat the incumbent Monalayefa Edwin Gibson of the PDP, who had 4,342 votes. Iyenegwa, Timinopre, Ohia, NTA News.
Now, away from electoral matters, more prominent Nigerians visiting the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia on spiritual uplifting crusade were granted audience by President Muhammadu Buhari in Makkah. Discussions centered on the state of the nation, especially the ongoing transition program of the incoming administration. State House correspondent Adamu Sambo reports.
It's the 5th day of his visit to the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia for the Lesser Hajj, and President Muhammadu Buhari shares a warm moment with some of the country's governors and other officials. At the meeting, the president was updated on developments back home, including the conclusion of outstanding elections in parts of the country. The guests, including governors of Borno and Yobe states, thanked the president for sacrificing a lot for Nigeria in his 8th year reign, coming to an end in a matter of weeks.
Mr. President is here to praise the Lord for the opportunity that God has given him to serve the country, and most importantly to pray for peace and tranquility in Nigeria to reign, and then to ensure smooth transition.
We appreciate his modest achievement to ensure that the country remains united. And of course, you know, when he came on board, how the country was and how it is today, especially in the northeast, the Boko Haram insurgency, which is today decimated.
During the visit, the government officials joined the president in a congregational prayer session. They thanked Allah for his enormous blessings to the nation and prayed for sustainable peace, unity, and prosperity across the land.
Pray for Lord to ensure lasting peace and sustainability in Borno State, and most importantly in Nigeria.
We will do our best to ensure that we build on our modest achievements.
We have to be grateful to God. We came to thank him and also to seek for his guidance so that we can deliver on the mandate given to us by the people of Katsina State.
We pray to Almighty Allah to continue to keep our country one and to give us the strength, the health, and the capacity to continue to do our work. That is a prayer.
How is the fight going?
Well, the fight is going on well. As you are aware, we just came out of electioneering issues, and my men were all over the place, and were able to make some arrests. God willing, we are going to conclude that and charge them to court. We are working with the INEC. We have formed a very good legal team. And then, of course, you are aware that we are working hard to see that we conclude certain cases that we have started, more so because some people are going to be available for us and all of that.
President Buhari, who appreciated the visit, told his guests that whatever Nigeria has achieved today is due to the power of democracy and the nation's institutions, which he said must continue to be strengthened. From Makkah, Saudi Arabia, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And President Muhammad Buhari says the ongoing fight which erupted in the Sudanese capital between the country's military and the rapid support forces is unwelcome. This was while receiving the transitional president of Chad, General Muhammad Idris Deby Itno, in Makkah, Saudi Arabia. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu once again reports.
President Muhammadu Buhari, who reviewed the crisis situation, which already claimed several lives, described it as unfortunate and disturbing. He called on all neighboring countries and the international community to prevail on the warring sides to stop fighting and negotiate. The president maintained that Sudan deserves peace after all it had gone through in the past. The Chadian leader had told President Buhari that the situation in Sudan is bad. He said if not arrested, it will have serious repercussions on neighboring countries. The Chadian leader said already his country had closed its borders to Sudan and reinforced security. General Muhammad explained that he had spoken to the leaders of both factions, saying if everyone tries, especially President Buhari, the situation will be normalized.
It was essentially a matter of a courtesy visit on somebody that he considers, literally his father and his elder. And of course, he informed him of what efforts that are being made by way of finding solution to the problem in the Sudan.
President Buhari commended the Chadian leader on his peace-building efforts and urged him to keep trying. General Muhammad wished President Buhari a successful Umrah and all the best as he prepares to leave office. From Makkah, Saudi Arabia, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
And from Saudi Arabia, we now move to Washington, D.C., where the Minister of Finance, Budget and National Planning, Zainab Ahmed, has been speaking on Nigeria's participation at the spring meetings of the World Bank and the International Monetary Fund, as well as transition plan with fuel subsidy removal topping the list. Leah Kachung Babatunde reports that she denies plans to pay consultancy fees for the $800 million loan being sorted from the World Bank.
The administration of President Muhammadu Buhari gradually winds down. It is the end of an era for Minister Zainab Ahmed, who has been at the head of the Nigerian delegation to the spring meetings in the last 5 years. She reels out the participation of Nigeria at the meetings this year, which happens to be her last, and the role Nigeria has played representing Africa in most of the meetings here in Washington, D.C.
Today, as we speak, because of high inflation globally and the continuous quantitative easing that the central banks globally are undertaking, interest rates continue to rise. So if you have taken a foreign debt, your cost of debt just rises without you doing anything. So we all have these challenges where what you have planned in your budget and provided for just keeps changing.
Nigeria represents a bloc of 22 African nations at the International Monetary and Financial Committee IMFC and was part of several bilateral meetings. The contents of the nation's wish basket include financial stability risk and the need for moderation, open and rule-based trading system, debt restructuring, and growing Nigeria's real sector portfolio.
The initial design is to disburse cash transfer of 5,000 naira per month per household for a period of 6 months. So whether this is enough It's an assessment that we are undertaking ourselves together with the new transition team.
It is the first time Nigeria's Transition Committee will be at the meetings preparatory to their takeoff. With the global economy still vulnerable, Minister Zainab Ahmed said cooperation between monetary and fiscal authorities is more than necessary now, and prudence in undertaking fiscal consolidation with eye on the most vulnerable is key. From Washington, D.C., Leah Katung Babatunde, NTA News.
Knowledgeable leadership, commitment to good governance has been noted as critical to the development yearnings of Africa and Africans. Vice President Yemi Osinbajo advocated this at a virtual lecture he delivered to the 2023 Africana Conference on the Fletcher School, Tufts University, USA, with the theme Africa 2050, Making Growth Work, comparing Africa's growth since independence era. The Vice President said the continent is in its multiple sectors has experienced steady growth, as this can be seen in the gross domestic product of sub-Saharan Africa and life expectancy, among other notable social and economic projections. The conference looked into how Africa's governments and institutions can pursue the right policies and develop infrastructure that will generate economic opportunities for their growing populations and better prepare for the challenges that will accompany the population boom. And you're still watching the news. Time now to take a breather. More reports when we return. Just stay with us.
In Nigeria, buy a Risco product.
Thanks for staying with us. PZ Wilma Limited, maker of quality household and food products in Nigeria, is about to make more Nigerians millionaires every year in the Devon Kings Mega Millionaires promo. The company is using the campaign to create a unique brand experience for consumers. Adiola Komiakere was at the official launch in Lagos.
Devon King's Cooking Oil, one of Nigeria's trusted cooking partners, has for over 5 decades promoted quality cooking with undisputed taste that binds people together through meals.
Be among the millionaires in the Devon Kings Mega Millionaires promo.
The introduction of this national consumer promotion, which is expected to run for 6 weeks, is another platform for rewarding loyalty. The Devon Kings team says over 30 million naira is up for grabs in the millionaires promo.
We have different segments of cash. We have 5,000, 10,000, 100,000, and we have 1 million naira. We also have airtimes to be won in this promotion.
Brand marketing manager says a raffle draw will be carried out weekly through electronic mode of selection to determine cash prize winners, apart from the 25 million naira airtime set aside for instant rewards.
You need to buy the 1 liter or 2 liter bottle of Devon King's cooking oil. You scratch the panel, it would reveal a code, and then you send the code in this format: Kings space the code to 8011. When you do that, you would either receive instant airtime or not. But whether you do receive instant airtime or not, you would qualify for the draws, which would happen weekly until the 26th of May.
You need to make sure that you're texting Kings in capital letters, space the code to the number. So if they don't do that correctly, they would get a notification that it's incorrect and then a direction on how to do it correctly.
The promo runs till the 26th of May, 2023. Adeola Komiakere, NTA News.
Now, the National Population Commission states clearly that everyone resident in Nigeria at the time of the 2023 census will be counted, including non-Nigerians, internally displaced persons and the homeless. Reacting to our report calling on the federal government to postpone the 2023 population and housing census scheduled from 3rd to 7th of May 2023 due to fear of exclusion of internally displaced persons in the census exercise, the NPC in a statement explained that the 2023 census methodology has a robust and tested procedure for the enumeration of IDPs in Nigeria, as the census questionnaire will elicit information on the usual places of residence of people in IDPs camps where they stayed before the displacement, which is also in line with international best standards. The statement also points out that the 2023 census will generate demographic data that governments at all levels, private sectors, international development partners and relevant agencies will require for planning and developmental purposes. And that's the news segment. Let's now join Jennifer in Lagos for more reports. Jennifer, over to you.
Thank you, Lizzie. Welcome to Newsline Proper. The season of Ramadan comes with many lessons and blessings. While the fast is considered a purification of sins and a time to cleanse the body, mind, and soul, Iftar, the meal eaten at the break of the fast, is considered a blessing, especially when shared with others. Cecil Egbele was a guest at the home of Sani Garba and says beyond the joy of sharing at Iftar, family bonds are stronger and friendships strengthened, especially when Iftar is extended to non-Muslims.
A regular day of Ramadan begins with a sahur, the meal consumed before the commencement of fast. This is usually between 4 a.m. till the call to morning prayer. Sahur is expected to be eaten in moderation. As iftar approaches, that is, the meal to break the fast in the evening, the women get busy in the kitchen. They prepare different kinds of meal and drinks. Most common on the menu are fruits, dates, and vegetables because of their high nutritional value. At the Sani Garba's residence, the women are almost done with the meal preparation as iftar approaches. They are also making provision to feed extra mouths as Islam recommends. Neighbors in the area have agreed to bring food and drinks together and offer to those in need. This is in line with the words of the Prophet Muhammad. Whoever feeds a person breaking his fast will earn the same reward as him without anything being lessened from the rewards of the fasting person.
Iftar around this time and in this neighborhood, we usually agree to bring whatever you can afford. We pack them as you can see here, and we let the needies come and pick what they want.
These meals are shared to all who come around, despite religious leaning.
Hunger has no limit to who or tribe, cut across tribe. So you don't look at that one. Disregarding his tribe, his religion, when he comes, feed him.
And then the sun sets and the call to prayer is heard. This summons the faithful to the Maghrib prayer. Prayer over and the table is set. The meal is assorted and I am a guest of Sani Garba.
You can see we used to have friends who their family are not living here, so they join us, and some visitors, they join us, and we allow the female ones to break their fast at home, and then at the other wing we now get the male ones.
Dining with family and friends at times like this increases bond and foster better understanding. The day ends with a Taraweeh prayer.
There's joy in sharing, and this period for the Muslim faithful is a time to show love and care. Now, language plays a dynamic role in society. It is an identity, culture, and heritage. In celebrating its own identity, the Chinese community in Abuja came together to mark the International Chinese Language Day in commemoration of the United Nations Language Day, established in 2010. Juliana Nicholas reports.
Language, a pivotal role in uniting people and promoting communal living. In the spirit of oneness, the Chinese Embassy and Center for Language Education and Cooperation marked the International Chinese Language Day, geared at promoting and fostering greater respect and tolerance for multiple languages and cultural diversity.
Language is both a tool of communication and a bridge of exchange. This year's global celebration will definitely enhance the understanding among the people.
The easiest way to show love to somebody is to allow the person to have an impact on what unites you as a people. I appeal to all the schools, particularly the FCTs, even if there will be a small window to get our children to be educated in the Chinese language. It's not a loss, it's a plus and it's an addition.
To commemorate the uniqueness of the Chinese language, 28th April is set aside to mark the day globally. In recognition of its diversity, the Chinese Embassy put together various activities revolving around dance, spoken word, and music performances.
Maybe I'll fit my faith into the whispers. But these voices are whispers too. Africa is possible. Come to the river. Come to the well of Pan-Africanism. To the pride of Marcus Garvey. Come to the eloquence of Nkrumah. Come.
Working towards building a more inclusive and a peaceful world, they believe will promote unity among different ethnic tribes. From me, I would say, "Shishi," meaning thank you.
Shishing to you as well. Now, language, apart from being means of communication, is also a uniting factor and brings communities and people together. And we must not forget that. Now to one aspect that also brings people together, social media. Social media, like a double-edged sword, has both the good and the bad sides, some of which can be extremely ugly. Some bad sides can be really awful. So users are expected to make decency their guiding principles. With the menace of fake news, hate speech, and ethnic polarization now dominating the social media, the nation is at a crossroad with ethical mannerism almost non-existent. In this report, Joel Pukbola examines the flip side of social media in the wake of increasing calls for caution.
Nigeria is one of the social media savvy countries in the world and is taking the lead in Africa with more than 50 million Nigerians active on various social media platforms, with a significant percentage of them youths. While this figure is big for marketing communications, the promotion of ideas and advocacy for positive actions, analysts say it is becoming increasingly worrisome that the social media these days has become a fertile ground where Nigerians spread fake news, ethnic hatred, and even issue threats to some passive enemies or those who simply express divergent views. Many Nigerians say they have been bullied on the social media, even as the youths continue to hurl invectives at each other on the outcome of the recently conducted elections.
So I'd say that the negative effect is just a side effect of having free speech, pretty much.
You've been psychologically attacked that way.
Yes, I've been.
but it is something that, as it is widely said, that the fingers are not equal. So that is that everybody ideology and mentality are not equal. So because of that, I have to tend to understand other people's feelings, even though it might hurt me.
Some people, they bring wrong information on social media. What is not true, they like to show it on social media, so people in the world will believe that this thing is happening, this thing is happening.
Social media, experts agree, is simply what you make out of it. There are many Nigerians who are making positive use of the networking, marketing, and communication platforms.
This social media has connected us in a business way also. We can also see there are some people, they market their business online.
A mass communication scholar from the Lagos State University, Professor Layosho, says the social media has become a free-for-all medium which could have far-reaching consequences in view of some of the uncensored and uncouth language used.
Nobody is ready to look at what other people are saying. Once you are not with me, then you are my enemy, and then you just go on attack, abuse, very dangerous rhetorics, and things like that. That doesn't do any good for the nation.
Professor Osho believes the negative effect of the social media is adding to the socio-political challenges bedeviling the nation, hence the need to put checks in place.
We need to really begin to get our people to understand critical media literacy, information literacy, so that one, you believe that it's not every information that you get that you believe. You try to understand that information, interpret it. Is this possible?
Respondents unanimously agreed that there is need for online decorum, while those who err should take responsibility for their actions.
I agree with you, Joel. And I think sometimes people forget that hate speech is a crime. And when we start holding people responsible for comments they make, I think a lot of people will change and be more cautious. I think so. Now to malaria. More than 1.5 million cases of malaria are recorded every year in Nigeria, with children below the ages of 5 mostly at risk. This alarming number prompted a group of researchers to develop a mosquito-repellent fabric aimed at reducing the malaria scourge. Balkisu Nuhu met with some of the researchers in Kaduna.
Malaria is a life-threatening disease spread to humans by some types of mosquitoes, mostly found in tropical countries, which is preventable and curable. A group of researchers drawn from Kaduna State University, Bingham University, Nasarawa State, and Val University of Technology, South Africa, discovered the use of mosquito-repellent fabric encapsulated with plant bioactive ingredients for the prevention of mosquito bites. Professor Zachary Ladan of the Department of Pure and Applied Chemistry, Kaduna State University, is one of the researchers and speaks on what necessitated the project.
Children below the ages of 5 and pregnant women are adversely affected by mosquito bites, and these children die. And we felt that rather than just focusing or dwelling on the conventional mosquito nets, sprays, we need to go beyond that. So we thought of bringing out an eco-friendly fabric that can be worn, and that fabric can stop mosquito bites. One mosquito bite is controlled, there will be malaria too will be controlled.
How were the materials sourced and how long did it take to actualize the feat?
Normally the NRF grant is a 24 months duration. So we got the funding, we applied in 2019 and got the funding in 2020. So we have been doing this research, but again facing a lot of hindrances here and there, like the COVID-19 that came up in 2020 affected the progress of this work because virtually nothing was working. So it was after the COVID that we picked it up and we've been moving very fast.
Having achieved this much, what is the viability of the end product and how will it aid in eradicating malaria, especially in rural areas?
We have the formulated nanoparticles embedded with the active ingredient that you can buy and also soak it again, and the cycle continues. So our main target was, of course, the fabric, because we felt that it is a way that can be afforded. It's affordable. It's not everybody that can afford insecticide, looking at the environmental effects on it.
Professor Ladani is of the view that government and other well-meaning individuals should invest more towards research which will be beneficial to all.
If government prioritize research and development with innovation, I assure you many other people that have brilliant ideas will be taken care of.
Other products formulated in the course of the research include bioinsecticide sprays and repellent cream from the Vitex Negundu plant's bioactive constituents for the control of mosquito bites.
We have more inventions like that, Nigeria to the world, because malaria, with most of the...
Feel dry, fresh, and confident every day.
Welcome back. The notion that love transcends ethnic or political barrier played out as two families from Osun and Imo states watched in admiration their daughter, Nai Onigbogi, and say I do to her heartthrob Ikechukwu Oduacha in a grand style. Prominent Nigerians from all walks of life witnessed the event and advised couple to be prayerful, loving, and understanding. Okay, I will bring you that story later. Now to Benin. It is no longer news that NTA's revered administrator and a woman of good character has bowed out after 35 years of meritorious service. However, what remains fresh in one's memory is her firm adherence to core moral and ethical principles which assisted her to achieve her goals in life. Her name is Pauline Ibano, a barrister at law who recently signed out same day she clocked 60 as zonal director, NTA Benin Network Center. Agatha Igware Ujo brings us all the trappings of the twin celebration.
It all started with a Thanksgiving Mass at St. Paul's Catholic Church, Benin. Secretary to Edo State Government and classmate to the celebrant to Sarjan Ugie, former Director General NTA Professor Tony Radia, the NTA family, friends and well-wishers joined the celebrant to thank God for the gift of life and bowing out.
I'm happy for her. It's unusual to get to 60 in a visible position like broadcasting without problems.
After the Mass, NTA family members and associates moved to Ui Grand Event Center with enough to make merry. Glowing tributes in written and spoken words continued to pour from the state government and Director General NTA Abdul Hamid Dembos, among others.
The ground she has broken in media, now she will break new grounds even in retirement because she's still very strong, healthy, and full of life.
She's a very dedicated woman, a committed person, a reliable woman.
There's no GM's meeting that we go to in Abuja that she's not called up for excellence. I believe I will be able to sustain what she has done and improve on what she's leaving behind.
She's an achiever, and while in school, she was very focused. She was an organized person.
The merrymaking also continued with NTA Benin management, staff, and other invited guests as they joined her on the dance floor to rejoice with their boss.
Whether there is a word that I can use to describe how grateful I am, how pleasantly surprised I am by the show of love I know that usually when people are retiring, it's as if, you know, people are just turning their back on them. But my own case has been different. Everywhere I have gone to, people have embraced me and shown appreciation.
She's committed. She has passion for it. Even when you want to discourage her, she's not ready to be discouraged. I don't know why, but so I'm happy.
I admire her strength, her love, her hard work to this job. I admire everything. I pray that I would be exactly like her.
Pauline Igbano joined the NTA in 1988 as a senior legal officer, rising to be secretary, legal advisor to the authority, deputy director special duties, general manager NTA Asaba, zonal director NTA Ibadan. She signs out as zonal director NTA Benin, a position she held for the last 7 years.
Beautiful woman and a core professional. Her wealth of experience will still be needed in the media in one way or the other. Now to a social and critical issue that affects our society. The question of who determines the number of children in a family is debatable, but the irony of having many children that cannot be cared for is inexplicable. This contentious issue took Adiola Komi-Akere to town to seek answers. Let's hear her findings.
One of the issues that is likely to come up during courtship when a man and woman's relationship is headed towards marriage is procreation and agreement on the number of children they would want to have.
It shouldn't be that I am your husband, everything I say, you must listen. That's not the way. The way is there has to be a conversation.
So ideally, what should be the number of children a couple should have?
It depends on the income that is available to the couple. If it's a dual income family, for instance, they can decide on the amount of money they want to set aside at the end of every month, okay? If it's a one income family, then there should also be a joint decision.
Let's find out from the younger generation their take on this subject.
Both of us talk it out. We ask each other, how many children do you want?
Historically, in a typical African setting, the extended family members also play key roles in determining the number of grandchildren they expect their children to have. Need I say particularly mother-in-laws? Despite this traditional dimension to the issue, in the end, the ball is in the court of the couple. So, between the man and the woman, whose place is it to decide the number of children to have?
If you decide to keep producing based on how many children, I'm sure you run out of your own power.
And I must say this, when we were courting, my husband always said he wanted 3 kids. I always said I wanted 2. But when we got married and we saw, the turnout of things, we had to sit to discuss what next.
Any figure that God give us that we take. But if I decide...
If you enter 10 times, you will take it like that?
Yes, now.
Now the woman could decide now.
Why you say the woman?
Now you know as in body be. Some can say you need 2, some go say they need 4. But in the olden days, no number, no countable.
A woman, for the reason of wanting to have somebody who will take care of her, maybe at old age, would also want a female baby. So it's not just for the man to take the decision.
With every birth comes responsibility, and every couple, married couple, should determine what load they can carry.
Reproductive health experts say the final decision rests mostly on the man, adding that in time past, the size of a family was used to measure his strength, but today, families are built in tune with economic and health realities.
Every pregnancy has a 50% chance of a woman dying. So if it's a 50-50 thing, why do you have to have too many? Okay, now you need to give your children quality education, functional education. So if you have plenty, how are you going to achieve that?
There are many factors that influence the number of children that a woman wants to have. One of it is her health. The other is her background. She might have come from a background where the average age, like I say, is 8 children. The average number of children is 8. She may come from a background where it is superior to have more children.
Be it 1, 2, 3, or more, What matters is the ability of parents to provide their offspring with quality care and support. And according to the Holy Scriptures, children are gifts from God. So catering to their needs should be priority, and it starts with the right decisions and planning. So, Jennifer, what's your take on this?
Planning. I mean, if one is okay, that's all you can cope with, not a bad idea, or two. But you know, someone said, even if it's 10, okay, easier said than done. I think we should apply wisdom. Now, still talking about the family, men's involvement in family planning has always been in 2-digit percentage, despite all the awareness on its importance and processes involved. Why is it like that? There are certain factors that comes to play in this development. What are they? Lanre Bilei tells us more.
The world, when family planning is mentioned, the first thing that pops into someone's mind is women. So why is it only women, a large proportion of women, are into family planning?
The man has done whatever he wants to do and has gone. The woman is left with the pregnancy and has to take care of herself. So most times there's more reason for the woman to be on, to take some things to prevent herself from getting pregnant.
We women are more
into family planning?
Yes, than men. Men is, I think, 100 out of 100, you will say maybe 20%.
Many men are aware of family planning, but for them to consider the service often depends on factors like cost of contraceptives, accessibility, marital status, level of education, religious and socio-cultural standards. These factors determine the role men are willing to play in family planning, thereby raising questions like who should go for it between married couples.
It doesn't mean maybe the wife should be the front sayer of it, or maybe the husband. It has to be a kind of joint agreement between both of you.
Well, there are many varied opinions concerning family planning. For Mr. Akpan here, his opinion is quite different from what we've been talking about. He doesn't believe in family planning. Why, Mr. Akpan?
The religious area is that it is expected that every child must be taken care of, and God has made that provisions.
Unlike their female counterparts that have 10 contraceptives plans, male birth controls are limited. Clinical ones include spermicide and vasectomy. Another option is do-it-yourself method. Medical experts agree that communication is key for spouses. Whoever chooses to go for the family planning process is doing it for the advancement and health of the family.
I think we need more awareness and advocacy. To think that we still have men who don't even believe in family planning is worrisome. So, health experts, you have a lot of work to do. Now, 9 years down the line, Nigerian women and mothers are keeping their hopes alive in anticipation of the successful return of the remaining abducted Chibok girls and other school children kidnapped at various points across the country. A special prayer session by the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs in Abuja brought together women from different faiths and spheres to seek divine intervention in a solemn atmosphere. Momso Damian Dati has details.
Your girls bring back our Engwa.
It was on the 14th of April 2014 that terrorists invaded Chibok, a community in Borno State, and abducted 276 girls in a boarding school. After that sad incident, several other children in different states across the nation were also kidnapped at different points. 9 years after the ugly incident, neither their families nor the Nigerian women have forgotten that their children are still in captivity. Hence the convergence of women at the Federal Ministry of Women Affairs at the instance of the Minister to seek divine intervention.
These children, they will fulfill purpose in the name of Jesus.
57 of these girls first escaped while being taken away, while 219 girls were taken into captivity. Through the concerted efforts by Mr. President, a total number of 122 girls have now been rescued, while 97 are still in captivity. Efforts are still on for the rescue of these remaining girls. And I know our prayers will not go unanswered. When women pray, when women cry to God, something must happen.
From one woman to another in their different faiths, they passionately pour out their hearts to their Creator in English, Arabic, Hausa, Yoruba, and whatever language they know to pray best.
The head of our armed forces are in your hand. Father, preserve them. Our children are in captivity, and we are sleeping as if there is nothing else that they can do. We do believe in the capacity of the security of this country if they want it to be used. The life of our children should not be politicized.
When this sad event happened, the whole world was almost brought to a standstill. The fight was on for the Chibok girls to be returned. With the passage of time, that tempo went down. Who will guarantee that safe space for us women? Should Nigeria continue in this path and then we talk about development, it's not possible.
Suddenly, the atmosphere turned moody and teary when one of the Chibok returnees was called to share her story.
God bless everybody. Please, let's do more. Let's do more. Let's not forget about these children. I appreciate. God bless everybody.
I escaped 2018 and I was not feeling fine, but I thank God they bring me to Federal Ministry of Women Affairs to take care of me, and by the God grace they take care of me very well. And I also thank our mommy here with hard work that she have done in our life.
And let these children, the remaining 97 that are still in captivity, let them be released as our parting gift for this administration. That will be great.
And excitedly, she cited her father in the crowd and couldn't help but tell the minister who invited him over.
She came out from the Sambisa forest. When she was coming, she was released. She was even given a directive by one of the chiefs in the Sambisa forest there that she would just come out because of her ill health.
To refocus attention on what has happened with the children of Nigeria, children of Chibok. And hopefully this effort will add to the advocacy, to get them rescued and get them united to the family.
And by God's grace, they will surely be found. Time to take another break. Newsline will continue shortly.
After a fruitful Ramadan day, replenish your body with the right nutrients. Make this your best Ramadan yet. Ramadan Kareem from Hollandia Dairy and Chivita Fruit Juice.
Bye, Mom. He's going to play in this weather. Why did you let him go? He might fall ill.
And if he doesn't go out for practice, how will he win more trophies? To protect our family from illness-causing germs during the rainy season, we use Dettol soap every day.
Dettol with Germ Defense gives you protection. Rainy season brings a lot of germs, and Dettol soap's Germ Defense protects you from up to 100 illness-causing germs. Dettol soap is endorsed by the Nigerian Medical Association. Be Dettol Show.
New Nivea Dry Deodorants. With 72-hour reliable odor protection from Dual Effect formula. For a dry and fresh skin feeling. Feel dry, fresh, and confident every day.
Did you know that a quarter of the world's deaths from malaria is in Nigeria? And the reason being a mosquito that spreads malaria, a disease that puts everyone's life in distress. We believe that protection and prevention is the best cure in the fight to end malaria. Mortein insecticide with its improved formulation kills 100% mosquitoes that spread malaria. So spread the message of how we can fight to end malaria with Mortein. Mortein, our #1 choice.
You clean your teeth every morning, but that fresh breath feeling just doesn't last. The answer? Easy. You keep your teeth strong and healthy and give your mouth long-lasting fresh breath with new Oral-B 2-in-1 toothpaste. It helps strengthen your teeth and gives you long-lasting fresh breath.
So fresh, still fresh, and still fresh.
Stay strong, stay fresh. New Oral-B toothpaste for strong teeth and long-lasting fresh breath.
If you want to become something, become a child again. Why be a patient? If you must worry, then worry about winning. Why worry about germs? When you come home, bring tales and stories. Why bring in germs?
Shield your families from germs. When Dettol is a part of every household bucket, then you and your family can stay protected from up to 100 illness-causing germs.
Everyday use of Dettol keeps my loved ones protected.
Men do not like overconfident women.
Don't touch me without my permission.
I'm a playful guy and I do get carried away sometimes.
You are selfish, manipulative, and you are a narcissist.
After all I've done for you.
What have you done for me?
Look, she called me barren.
You know my mom doesn't know any better, right?
You say that now, but then when you see your mother, you start to act like you're deaf and dumb. You were supposed to be more careful.
I've been.
Clearly not enough.
Welcome back. The notion that love transcends ethnic and political barriers played out as two families from Osun and Imo states watched in admiration their daughter Nanyi Onigbogi say I do to her heartthrob Ikechukwu Odocha in a grand style. Prominent Nigerians from all walks of life who witnessed the event advised the couple to be prayerful, loving, and understanding.
The true joy and desire of every parent is to take this work with their daughter in readiness for matrimony. Whetting your appetite with this, let's thrill you to a true Yoruba traditional marriage rite outside the soil of Yoruba land. For the Onigbogis, it was emotional giving out their daughter. Having wished Naye well in her matrimonial journey, her husband's family spread their hands in acceptance, consolidating the traditional requirement for the union of Naye and Ikechukwu is the solemnization and exchange of marital vows between the two lovebirds.
Faithful to her as long as you both shall live.
Yes, I will.
If yes, say I will.
I will.
Praise God.
Excitement radiates the faces of families and friends.
I'm elated, I feel accomplished, and I'm happy.
Seeing her go is not easy for me, but it's my prayer that it's me that will give her out, and I thank God for today.
And I'm happy for the couple, I'm happy for the families. I hope more of this will happen. They should make God the foundation of their home.
I wish them a lifetime of love and happiness and devotion to each other.
Worthy of note is the uniting bond between the East and West, with northern input witnessed in the union, which many well-wishers describe as commendable.
The intertribal marriage, I think it's very important for us to have more of that, because that will engender more unity among the tribes in Nigeria.
Oh, we are praying for marital bliss and for the handshake across in Nigeria. We are so happy.
Now you don't stop in yourself. our groom, who is now our son. You're welcome to this wonderful family. We hope that your union will further strengthen the unity of Nigeria.
And as well, the NTA family were fully on ground to celebrate with one of their own.
I'm happy, I'm elated, I'm lost for words. This is just the beginning of a new chapter for them.
The two of you should have each other's shoulder to lean on.
The audience were thrilled to various dancing steps.
We wish them a life of bliss and blessing. Now, one could only imagine the pain and trauma a lady goes through on the account of rape, not to talk of a minor. Now, this is a story of two minors suspected to have been raped by a 70-year-old man in Yola, Adamawa State. Simon Asher reports.
This is Ajia Ward, one of the 11 wards of Yola North in Adamawa State. One will not expect rape or any evil act in the area due to the beehive of activity. Two minor aged 4 and 7, respectively, were raped by a 70-year-old Usman Ibrahim in the area. The suspect is said to have lured them to commit the heinous crime on their way to a lesson class. Although the father of the victims could not be reached for comment, reports indicate he reported the matter to the police after noticing pens on the children while urinating. The suspect, a firewood seller and a father of 3, claimed ignorance of the act.
I am innocent of the allegation. Level
The Adamawa State Police Command says the suspect will be charged to court as soon as investigation is completed.
So the victims were rushed to hospital where one was detected to have been assaulted sexually, not minding their age, 4 and 7. So the CP, having expressed his annoyance, directed that another task force team be created so that we should be enlightening members of the public on a way that they should safeguard their children's report, give timely and actionable report to the security agents so that together we can at least make a formidable environment for our kids.
And no excuse for rape. 70-year-old, well, still alleged, but if he truly committed that heinous crime, he must answer to the law. Now, still on gory things happening around us, suspected ritualists have murdered a 16-year-old boy, Yusuf Rabiu, and his eyes removed. The horrific incident happened in Showarin town in Kiyawa local government area of Jigawa State. Ali Adamu reports that the boy is an Almajiri pupil with Malam Garba May Abuja Quranic School, Showarin.
Incident where human body parts are removed. Ritualist involvement always comes to mind as they are normally associated with such barbaric acts for fetish reasons. The case of Yusuf Rabiu, a 16-year-old Almajiri, is also not an exception, as he was found dead in the pool of his blood with one eye removed last Friday afternoon.
They went to the bush to collect firewood, which they will sell and use the money for transport fare.
The Police Public Relations Officer, Jigawa State Police Command, Adam Shisu, who confirmed the incident, told Newsline that the operative of the command recovered the corpse of the boy after a senior teacher of the Quranic school reported the matter to the police.
One of his eyes was removed. So when we go there, we
took him and conveyed him to the hospital, and then the medical doctor confirmed his death.
He said manhunt for the perpetrators is already on, but however cautioned parents and guardians to take responsibility of looking after their wards diligently, adding that allowing underage to fend for themselves gives room for such unpleasant incidences. When Newsline visited the deceased school, it was found a bit deserted as they are yet to recover from the shock of the incident.
Parents should do more to protect their children, please. We need to do more. Now, the mystery surrounding the death of an online vendor, Olayinka Adesina, popularly known as Kadi, who died in Wetland Hotel in Ibadan, is yet to be unraveled. Yemisi Ajagun, who is following the story, tells us more.
Online business is regarded as cost and time effective. This is the attraction of many youths to online businesses, especially after the outbreak of COVID-19 in 2020. The unseen dangers embedded in online business is, however, gradually unfolding.
Online vendors should also verify customer identity, use address verification services.
Be very careful when they are delivering to people by themselves, and they should also know the people they are delivering to very well before going, and they should meet people in open spaces.
Such is the case of an Ibadan-based online vendor, Olayinka Adesina, also known as Kadi, who was reportedly found dead at Wetland Hotel in Akobo area of Ibadan, Oyo State capital. Olayinka ran an online retail store, Shop with Kadi, on Instagram, where she sold clothing, shoes and fashion accessories, was confirmed dead after she lodged in the hotel with a male friend whose identity is yet to be revealed. In a curiosity to know what exactly transpired, NTA News visited the hotel, but access was denied. Though unconfirmed reports has it that the said male friend has reported to the police for questioning. In a statement put online by the management of the hotel, they made known their cooperation with the police to get to the root of the matter. This is a developing story. NTA News will update you as it unfolds.
Mystery indeed, and we will keep you updated. Time to take our last round of commercials. Newsline will be right back.
Human resource.
All I need to say about the second River Niger Bridge, 21 years ago, as I came onto this throne, it will normally take you 3 to 4 hours to cross the bridge. I mean, if you are going to Lagos, you spent almost half your time on the bridge, and you were stuck on the bridge before you came across from Asaba this morning. Now, could you imagine how the people of Onitsha and Asaba have endured such a situation for over 25, 30 years? This is reality. So we cannot overestimate the importance of the second River Niger Bridge. To express appreciation to our President, Muhammad Buhari, for being the vehicle for the execution of this monumental project.
Mommy, it is time for us to leave this place.
One of your earrings is missing.
No one will find it.
I'm not willing to take that chance.
have a big plan, man.
What do you want?
I want a senior position at Dubai. If anything happens to me, go through the content of this envelope and check every single thing.
It's done. No one will ever find out the truth.
Thanks for being there. Now, melanin is a priceless gift from God. While many admire and wish to possess it, some who have it do not appreciate the advantages that come with it. In case you don't know, melanin is responsible for dark skin, absorbs harmful ultraviolet rays, and protects cells from sun damage. So why would anyone tamper with it? In this report, Hingino John Adams examines the dangers of using bleaching cream to destroy melanin.
Left with scars and burns, which they may nurse forever as a result of using facial and body creams containing harmful substances that change the skin color from dark to fair, all in the bid to look attractive, defying the saying, "Black is beautiful." Is there any attraction to people who bleach their skin?
I see no reason why you should bleach your skin in order to imitate the fair people.
If I'm to look for a beautiful wife, I'll prefer a very dark-skinned lady who has a natural complexion than a lady who actually bleaches.
The skin damage caused by bleaching cream has psychological and social implications like low self-esteem. Some who regret using such products look for ways of redeeming the damage.
It is from inside that you have to be comfortable with yourself, not from what is outside.
Bleaching of skin exposes the skin to sun radiation that can even cause skin cancer. It also affects the kidneys and other parts of the internal organs too.
The 2018 World Health Organization's rating of African countries that use bleaching cream placed Nigeria at the top, with 77% of women using various brands of bleaching creams. The National Agency for Food and Drug Administration and Control, NAFDAC, has not turned deaf ears to this scary data.
We have been going around the country talking about danger of chemicals that are contained in some bleaching creams. If it doesn't have NAFDAC number, don't touch it.
Though results of using such creams may be amazing on the skin, giving it improved tone and flawless look, medical experts are cautioning against their usage as the harm they do to the body are sometimes life-threatening.
For people who bleach, when you go for operation, that is when you hate yourself because it's always a disaster. So people should learn from that. Now, still on Hingino's health awareness reports, inter-house sports competition is an important part of education since it involves the use of physical strength. Casualties are sometimes recorded. In this report, Hingino John Adams takes a look at why it is important to have a medical team on ground during inter-house sports.
All work without play makes Jack a dull boy. A very old saying there, but still relevant. That is why, apart from academic drills, schools include sporting activities in their curriculum. Such events afford students the opportunity to display their athletic potentials as well as improve their intellect, physical strength, and health status. What do parents feel about having a medical team on ground during inter-house sports competitions?
Chance of having injuries during the sporting activities is high. So because of this, you need the presence of medical personnel.
It is important so as to facilitate the safety of athletes or school children, whichever way.
It's not acceptable for people to organize such events without proper medical team.
As simple and entertaining inter-house sports may look, having a medical team on ground is important in case of emergencies.
Apart from the medical team being around, another thing is to make sure that that environment is safe for the children. People come with their musical instruments. There are other instruments that are used. We must be sure as school owners that those things are safe.
You cannot involve children for swimming exercise and not let them have the necessary training for safety precautions.
Teaching children basic life skills will also help in addressing the issue of avoidable deaths.
If children knows how to do life skills promptly, it then becomes, a narrative changer as to how people survive better in the community. And that would start from school. So if we enlighten children in schools, they can help themselves if things happen. When somebody is collapsed, they need to know the next thing to do, which is to start the resuscitation process. And these are the things that we need to engage our children in for them to understand that process.
Key players in the education and health sectors say students' lives should be prioritized by making the presence of medical teams during inter-house sports mandatory.
Safety is key, and having a medical team on ground is not even negotiable. It is a must. I remember back in the day we used to have teams that the school will arrange to have glucose on standby in case somebody is fainting, but we have to go beyond that. Having a medical team should be priority. Now, this is where we'll end today's episode of Newsline. Thank you for being a part of it. Join us Sunday next week for another edition, and we'll show to have great stories as usual. And don't forget that the fastest way to becoming a star is to stand with the NTA to fight against rape and rapists. And before we go, we also want you to remember that the National Population Census is 17 days to go. You must be counted. Very important. So let us see you again Sunday next week. Good night and God bless Nigeria.